since the dawn of time.
Or like 2007.
You know this slot. Come in here. On the PCIe slot, there was a way to secure GPUs, and it's this nice little piece of plastic. I don't know what the technical term is, but it's a little dongle, right?
It's a latch.
It's a latch. It gets it put in place. But what's been the problem lately, Will?
Well, the problem these days is the video card coolers are getting bigger, and the space on the other side of the video card slot is getting taken up by SSD cooling.
Yeah.
So you can't get your finger in there to hit the button to release the video card when there's a video card installed.
Yeah. Well, Gordon had an idea.
Yeah, he used to just take a slot cover and jam it down in there and just push the thing down, which is kind of high risk, and if you miss, you can gouge up your motherboard and maybe knock some components off.
No, it's fine. But motherboard manufacturers said, what if there's a better way? What if you could have just a button, You just press a button and it releases it, and the button's in a nice little handy spot over there.
It's a satisfying button.
It's not just buttons. Some people like Asus have levers, You can just put a little lever, same easy to access location, and it is not a problem.
Very functional.
But Asus says, what if you could just grab it and yank it?
So, Adam, what's holding the card in place if you were just able to yank it out of the slot?
Well, there is still a mechanism to hold it in place, and there's a special way to get it out that I just did. I'm gonna have you try it for the very first time.
Yeah, I've never done this before.
Live here in video. But what we're referring to here is this new system that Asus has implemented in some of their high-end motherboards of late. This is called the Q-Release Slim design. I don't know why it's slim.
Maybe it's because there's a fat one that's coming?
I'm not quite sure the naming of it. But yeah, the idea is that you can just slot a GPU in place, and then theoretically, if you just pull straight on it, it's not going to come out. And you can see I'm actually...
Wow, you got a lot of flex on that board.
Right? It's not coming out until you tilt it back. So I'm gonna tilt it this way, ever so slightly, and then it will release. So essentially, it's an easier way. They're saying you still get the latch, it still secures in place, but if you're wanting to take it out, you don't have to hit a button. You don't have to try to reach for a latch and use Gordon's method of a slot cover kind of thing. You just grab it and yank it, and it's fine.
It's that easy.
So it's something new, right? And I applaud Asus for trying something new because it's always nice to try things on a fancy new high-end motherboard for sure, but there are problems. Recently there were some people on the internet saying that they have noticed that because of this new system, it is actually providing a little bit more scratches to the PCIe.
Like the slot connector where the interface is?
Yeah, where it interfaces in, they've noticed a little bit of scratching.
The part you're not supposed to touch, it makes me really worried.
It's fine, it's fine. And they're saying because of the way that you have to take it out
yank
at an angle, yes, that it's providing just enough friction on there to round out one of the corners and kind of scuff the card as you're coming out.
So you used one of these quick release boards for all of your 5090 testing and 5080 testing.
And actually back to the B580.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I built a new test bench because I knew this GPU cycle was coming through, so we built a new one. It was around a ProArt X870E motherboard. This featured the Q-Release Slim design, and to tell you the truth, I thought when I first put it in, I was like, oh, there's no button, there's no lever. Why'd they?
Yeah, you got the slot cover out.
Yeah, no, for reals. I thought they got rid of it, and I was like, okay, that's weird. So for the first while, I was having to detach the big heatsink to get to it every single time. But then at CES, I was talking to the fine folks over at Asus, and he's like, oh no, this is how you do it. And I was like, oh really? Oh, I had no idea that it was a thing. Ever since then, I have been yanking on the GPUs in that slot. So I have a number of cycles in through that ProArt slot. I can say at least anecdotally from us, I mean from the 5090, 5080, 4090, 4080 Super, all the GPUs that we've been testing recently in that slot, I am not seeing any sort of damage on that slot from our cards.
And probably more cycles in that test loop than most slots will see in their entire lifetime.
Oh, definely, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're inserting stuff left and right over there.
Yeah, right, and yanking on it really hard, and
constantly yanking.
Exactly. But there are people who are showing, hey, that they're for one reason or another, they're having degradation to that slot. So actually, really quickly, I want to go over what Asus has given as a public statement around this thing.
Because gouging up a $2,000 video, or any video card really, not good.
Not good, not recommended. But Asus says, along with the guidelines that they put out there, and you can kind of see, what they recommend for the way to do it. But they say, by following these guidelines, the new design performs similarly to traditional PCIe slots, leaving only usage marks under normal usage frequency. So essentially saying that, hey, normal wear and tear is going to happen on a PCIe slot regardless, and that this design specifically is not doing anything more
beyond
than
a normal PCI Express slot.
Normal, yeah.
Of course, that's what they're going to say, though.
They actually, I'll leave a link to this public announcement in the description if you want to go read the whole thing, because they talk about the recommendation. They're claiming, you can see this chart here, 2 degrees is what it takes to release it.
It's a very mild yank.
Is Asus working on a revision? How did Asus not catch this? Durability testing, all that kind of stuff you can get into. Just hit the link, go over there and read it. But the thing is, even with all that, and I don't think it's a bad design, with all that, I think the problem for me is that it goes against everything I've learned as a PC builder for a decade plus. You put something in that slot, and you don't just pull on it.
You can't just yank it.
You just cannot just yank on it willy-nilly.
It'll break your video card, then nothing will be on your monitor. You won't be able to see anything if you yank it too much.
Exactly. So while I applaud them for it, I do feel like it's going against common knowledge, and I think it's going to be hard. I mean,
well, they need to communicate this, right?
Well, and honestly, to a certain degree, once again, I set up that ProArt board, and I had no idea. I just thought the button was gone, and they got rid of that feature. There's no markings here to indicate that it's a Q-Release thing, Slim. Yes, it was on the box. I guess I could have looked on the box, to see that kind of stuff, but. You just expect it. You don't expect to say, oh, you know what? I think I can just go ahead and pull on it.
Here's a completely new way to do this thing that I've done one way for a really long time.
So it's hard. I think they're in a hard spot because of that. I don't think it's going to cause a lot of degradation to GPUs. Most people aren't doing multiple cycles on the systems anyway.
Well, and the other thing is, like, modern GPUs also have the screws on the other end if you're going to be shipping them or something like that, so you can physically mount them all the way across the board. So it's like, theoretically, the thing that this slot cover was originally for, keeping it safe in shipping, doesn't apply as much anymore as cards have gotten bigger and heavier.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of finish this off with you trying it for yourself.
My first yank.
You have not tried this system.
I've never
before,
tried it.
But you know how you're supposed to do it.
I've seen you do it. You made it look easy. You look like you've been doing it your whole life.
So you insert it into the slot, and I would like to see you try to get it out just straight.
Yeah.
The
traditional yank is what we call that
exactly,
one.
Yeah. Asus says in order to release it, for the mechanism to release, it's got to be 2 degrees off, which 2 degrees is
tilted counter backplane.
This way.
Yeah.
So let's try it. Live demo here.
Live demo. I've never done this before. I mean, I've put things in slots before. Okay. Okay, that's in.
Okay, it's in. Try to pull it.
No, that felt bad. I wish I hadn't done that. Okay, now I'm allowed to.
What are you doing? Yeah.
I got it part of the way out. Maybe you're right. Maybe your point is well taken. So I tilt it back this way, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, it just comes right out. That's weird. It feels a little unnatural. Feels like I'm doing something that people wouldn't approve of.
And this is it's an open air bench, so it's a little weird with the.
Yeah, the screws are hard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna yank it one more time. It just comes right out. It's weird. It's weird though. I don't know that change is difficult.
Well, I think the other thing too. Why don't you try to get it out without? And I know this is a 5090. We don't want to ruin it, but try to get it out without tilting it back. See if you feel like you could get it back out without the 2 degrees.
I feel like I absolutely can do that. Just like I can lift the whole board up off the case.
All right, so it is latched in then.
It's latched in pretty good. I think we should put a 5090 in one of these and then ship it across the country and ship it back a few times and see if it survives.
Yeah. So this is just one board. We have the ROG Strix here. This nice. Metallic white finish. In other boards, it also does seem to work a little bit better. But yeah, so there it is. And if you look at the slot, it's reinforced. It still has the little latch.
You can still push it down with the thing if it gets hung, but there's a little bit of a flange at the end actually, so it probably works even better.
Yeah. So if you look at the 5090 here, we're not seeing like crazy damage to it or anything, even though he was obviously not doing it professionally.
Generally speaking, I like fewer moving parts, right? One less button to break is a good thing, I think.
I think what we're working with here is like swimming upstream, right?
Yeah.
For years and years and years, people have done it a certain way. You somehow undo the latch manually yourself, with either a button or pushing down on it, kind of thing. And now there's this new way that it hasn't been fully covered. I mean, that's part of the reason why we're
doing a video so people know.
Yeah. So people know. There are people that are reporting problems with it in terms of hardware, and if it does become a widespread thing that people are actually getting damage from it, then it is something that needs to get looked into for sure. But theoretically, under the right circumstances, it should just work. But that's the thing, is that like now you're going to retrain, you're going to have to retrain everybody to think a different way, and then also realize. So this is the other thing, is that I recently was slotting a GPU into a different system that didn't have Q-Release Slim, and I without thinking about it, because I've been using it, I just went ahead and yanked on it.
How'd that go?
Not good.
Yeah.
Right. Which, listen, we're in a weird scenario, right? We're hardware reviewers. We're shuffling
You're
hardware
yanking
a lot.
every day.
Every day,
Yeah.
we're just yanking somewhere new. But it just creates confusion, and it's one of those things where, like, unless everybody's on board, or unless there's some clear like delineation to say, hey, you know what, you don't have to hit a button, you can just go ahead and yank on it. Something needs to change to like get past that momentum, but I really feel like they're swimming upstream with this one.
I would expect like a sticker over the slot or something, someplace where you're going to see it and have to engage with it in order to remove it and get the system ready to use, to notify you that, hey, this board, safe to yank.
Yeah, and who knows? Once again, maybe I'm completely wrong about this, because the amount of times that people are normally going to try to,
it's unusual.
Like, unseat graphics cards is not that often.
No.
So maybe it's just like it's overblown, but I don't know. Either way, I hope this has been informative.
Yeah.
It's a new thing that's out there. Once again, I applaud Asus for trying new things, and they do try a lot
They're
of new things.
always trying new stuff.
Some of it's a swing, some of it's a miss. As of right now, I feel like personally this one's a miss. I would much rather just have a button. You see it, you know it, you press it, you hear it.
I enjoyed my time yanking.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So,
I'm
there
glad
you
you
go.
joined me.
Yeah.
To yank on it.
It's nice. It's nice to have a
This is
team.
not, we can't put this in the video. We gotta just cut. Just beep.
Too much?
We
Too much?
gotta get
Okay.
out of here.
Okay.
Subscribe for
Yeah.
more yanking videos on PCWorld.
It's a PSA about yanking. That's what we've done.
Let's get out of here. What are we doing?
Bye, Adam. I'm just so
Yeah.
upset every time I have to pull a video card on my computer.